So, hello everyone. We are going to start the session now. I'll just give a brief introduction about our speaker. Uh, Dr. Lokesh sir is currently working as Scientist E at Division of Biomedical Informatics, Indian Council of Medical Research, Government of India. He has completed his PhD in Computer Science. He is a member of IEEE, Computer Society of India, International Association of Engineers, and more. Today he is going to present on the topic called machine learning algorithm in data science. So over to you, sir.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Dr. Jugal, I share my slide.
Okay, okay, sir.
Dr. Jugal, my slide is visible or not?
Your screen is visible, sir, but I cannot. Yeah, now it is visible, sir. Yes, sir, it is fine.
Huh. Uh, Good evening, everyone. My audio is hearable.
Yes, sir.
Huh. Okay. Today we will discuss about machine learning algorithm in data science. Okay. So, in most I assume that you are from different streams, and some maybe the computer science, some maybe other stream. So we will give just a glimpse of machine learning algorithm and which type of the softwares available presently, which is used for the ma- for machine learning technique in special context in data science. Okay, then I will try if permit time will permit, then we will see one open source software which allow different machine learning algorithm and analyze your data. So first all of thing, um, why we need the data science, or why we need the analyze the data. So when we see data is all around. When we talk about data science, so first we require the data. And when we talk about the present scenario, data is available in our daily routine or all over the our day-to-day activity. For example, now you can see the web data, e-commerce, financial transaction, bank, credit transaction, online trading, purchasing, social network, and many more. Like now in this day, we are using also the health, health, health informatics. So we are able to generate the health. So whenever we have the data, we require to proper analyze the data. uh, Present scenario is storing the, when we talk about 70s and 90s, that time storing the data in computer, that was the important. But now we are able to store data in our computer, and we have the huge amount of the data. So it is not only the important storing the data, but through the data we provide some conclusive decision, or through the data we require to find out some conclusive decision that can be used for either for knowing the nature or behavior of the user, or it may be the nature of the data, or it may be the some decision making purpose. We required some different kind of the algorithm or some different kind of the technique that not only give information about the data, but also provide some learning capability, or like the human computer or computer can learn from this data and provide some fruitful result. So how much data do we have? So it is a lot of the data. When we talk about Google, Google process nearly 20 PB data generated a day. Of Facebook, daily logs are 160 TB. eBay, you are aware about auction website which generates 6.5 BB user data, 20 TB day, and similarly 1000 genomics projects generate the more than 200 terabyte data. Cost of 1 TB of disk is dollar 35 rupees. You can say time to read 1 TB is approximate 3 hours. So we have, we can say now we have the our huge amount of the data. So traditional our uh, algorithms are not sufficient. Our traditional, when we say the traditional, it means simple statistics, and statistics method or mechanism is not appropriate to analyze such kind of the data. So therefore big data concept or big data mining or data analysis appear. When we say the big data, so big data is any data that is expensive to manage and hard extract value from. It is the volume. When we talk say the big data, so it have the certain kind of the property. First is the volume. The size of data should be the huge or big. Then velocity means the latency or data processing relative to growth, demand or interactive. These are the also used. Then variety and complexity. The now we collect the data from different sources. There are not single sources. When we talk about the database management system, so we don't have only the single database management. We have now in this day some open source, some commercial, and there are variety of the database. So we can say we have the different type of the source of the data. Similarly, different data storage or data source store data in different format, and similarly structure different when we talk about the different database, they store data on the different way. Some use the binary format, some use the b tree, some use the hash format, and so on. इसकी सुनो ना, थोड़ा हल्ला कम करोगे क्या? एक मेरा मीटिंग चल रहा है, लेक्चर चल रही थी. The diversity of the source, this define also the big data. So when we say the data of velocity, you can see that this graph, data variety, data volume. Data volumes are we started from kilobyte, now we have in the petabyte. And data variety, when we say our data, it may be the audio, video, wave, photo, mobile app, and there are different type of the variety or source of the data. Similarly, when we see the data velocity, so our data can be either available in batch format or periodically or near to real time or real time. So these are the data velocity. So type of data basically we use in our daily life, or you can in our computer science, that is the relational data. It is available in our tabular form. Simple, you can give simplest example is you are managing your data on Excel, that is the relational data. Text data we use on our web, web or social media. Now our data is also available in the semi-structured data format. We say the XML. Data are available in our graph data, such as now everybody is used to Google Map. Means you can say the street network. So such type of the data is the graph data. Social network, semantic wave, RDF, radio data frequency. So these are the different kind of data. Streaming data, you can afford to scan the data once. So these are the different type of the data we use in our daily life. What then now is question, okay, I have the so much data, so much resources, then what to do with this data? So basic data we perform with this is aggregation and statistics. So already we were using data warehousing and OLAP. Indexing and searching purpose or query, searching or query means I know the data who has whose age is greater than 20, like that. I want to search a specific roll number. So pattern matching. So such type of the task we can perform. Then later on, it's come knowledge discovery. How we can provide, how we can use this data to generate some new knowledge. So for generating new knowledge, we use data mining or statistical modeling. So, now big data and data science. Now in this, we go step forward, and now in this era, we use big data and data science. New Data Science Institute, and especially focus especially to focus the data. Different institute and courses were introduced, uh, and not all abroad as well as now in this day India. Different data science courses introduced, and new degree, or you can say the program introduced especially for the data science. So now, what is data science, or what we know about the data science? Data science is area that manage, manipulates, extract, and interpreted knowledge from tremendous amount of data. So here, slightly difference with your database. Okay. When we say the database management system which manage, manipulate, extract the information. When we talk about data science not only manage, manipulate, extract, this is the work of data management system. But when we talk about data science, here management, we are managing the knowledge, or management manipulate, extract, and interpret knowledge from the tremendous amount of the data. So where we require the basically data science when we want to extract or interpret the knowledge, or you can say the, if you want to, you have the data and you want to utilize this data, and you want to some knowledge generation that can help you, or for generating the some new information, or it will helpful for the decision making. So that is the purpose of the data science. And when we talk about the knowledge, so data science is not a, you can't put in the one bracket. Data science is basically the multidisciplinary field of study with goal to address the challenges in big data. Data science principle apply to all data, big and small. So when we talk about the principle, it's not necessary always the big, it may be the small. Important when we say in any data science, the principle is the knowledge extraction. How we extract the knowledge from the data. Theory and technique from many field and discipline are used. to investigate and analyze a large amount of data to help decision maker in many industries such as science, engineering, economics, politics, finance, and education. Computers, when we talk about, but which type of the subject we require here, like computer science, you require to aware about pattern recognition, visualization, data warehousing, high performance computing, database, artificial intelligence, and mathematics, you required knowledge of the mathematical model, and statistic, we required statistic and stochastic model, and also we required different machine learning or data science algorithm use probability. So you may require to aware about the probability. So these are the hype cycle. So basically, in coming day, or you can we started, data science became a very important tool in field of the computer science. As I told you, data science is not a single subject, but it is, in data science we require the knowledge of the different subjects. Okay, so you can say in when we are using data science, there is a machine learning, it is the artificial intelligence, data mining, data and data processing, visualization, statistics, neurocomputing. These are the different subjects which required or which required to knowledge for the data science, or for the good one data scientist utilizes different technique or tools of the different subject for the analyzing the data. So these are data science, and now data scientists, the promising job for 21st century. They find stories, extract knowledge. They are not a reporter. When of the when we talk about the scientists, now in this day prominent job in even in the in computer field, that is the for data scientists, and they find stories, extract knowledge. They are not reporter. Reporter itself means you have the data, so just tell about the data and give the information about the data. It is not a data scientist. Data science, the work of the data scientist is the, you have the data, extract the meaningful information and generate the knowledge and provide to some appropriate visualization or appropriate to the appropriate way to your decision maker or higher authority can understand about the data, and they can take the decision. That is the basically the work of the data scientist. So data scientists are key to realize the opportunity presented by big data. They bring structure to it, find compelling pattern in it, and advise executive on implication for product, process, and decision. So that is the role of data scientist. What to do? Data scientists do. So data scientists are work for different domain, like for national security, cyber security. They can also work for the business analytics, engineering, healthcare, and more. Most of I think you watched some recently one movies came. So there was the like the national security. They also kind of the data analyst are simple tag as the analyst. So they are also working for the national security. And concentration in data science. So if you are going to become a data scientist, so you required to study some basic mathematics and applied mathematics. When we talk about mathematics, so you learn little bit about discrete mathematics as well as the applied mathematics. Uh, Second is the applied statistics and data analysis. And also you require, if you are now in data scientists, science, we have the two type of the user. Those want to create, they, they want to use the data science technique and you want to develop their own program. Then you require the solid programming skill. Say, like you can develop program through R or Python or Julia, as well as you require the knowledge of the SQL. Second time of the user is that now in this day we have different kind of data, data science or data analytics portal. So you don't require such programming skill, but you may require to use those data science or data analytic portal. So basis of the data analytic portal, you don't require much programming, but utilize are already available, are available methods, are available technique on that particular software and analyze your data. Then knowledge of your data mining, database storage and management, and machine learning and discovery. So these are the basic subject or you may require to aware about those things. And when we talk about the machine learning, so machine learning, there are different data analysis techniques are available in machine learning, which use for the data science, such as supervised learning, or we simple term we also say classification. Unsupervised learning, in simple term, we say clustering, pattern detection, simulation. So these are the different data analysis tasks which required. This these different data mining uh, are machine learning technique which is used for the or which is used in basically in data science. So we discuss roughly one by one this technique. So first important are mostly used data analysis task is a classification, and each type of the task is characterized by kind of the data they require and the kind of output they generate. Okay, before before applying any task or any technique, so important thing is identify, first observe your data, how your data is. First, observe your data. Basis of the observing your data, then identify what is your goal. Goal it means what will be the output or what output you want. Based upon that, we identify different data analysis tasks, and then further is come in each data mining or data analysis task. There are different algorithms or techniques are available. So there is a one thing you remember, there is no any universal technique or in computer term you can say algorithm which are used for all type of the data or all nature of the data. In simple, we want to perform the sorting, but now we have the different type of the sorting algorithm. We say we have the bubble sort, sequential bubble sort, we have the binary sorting. Similarly, we in searching we have the sequential searching and binary searching. So, but we apply different sorting or searching algorithm depend upon our data size and data. Similarly, we have the different technique or algorithms are available and which apply depend upon the data and depend upon the task. So first important thing is to identify the nature of the data or characteristic of the your data, and then identify what is your goal and what is your output, then select appropriate data analysis task, then only you can continue. So first we talk about supervised learning. Then when we say in machine learning concept, our learning technique can be classified in three categories: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and semi-supervised learning. Supervised learning, the training data is annotated with information to help the learning system. Uh, Unsupervised learning means the training data is not annotated with any extra information to help the learning system. And semi-supervised learning is basically the um, combination of the both technique, or some information are available but some information are not available. So it is called the semi-supervised learning. So when we talk about supervised learning, so one thing again I want to clarify. When we talk about annotated with information to help the learning system, so when we talk about which type information, or when we talk about the learning system or which guide you, so first question is come, which type of the information is available. Okay, so here information with a information available means when we term in our programming part, or when we term is the it is a theoretical, but when we go for implement in either in programming part through or through the system, so simple I can say you may require two set of the data set. One set of the data set having the information, complete information, and one set of the data set have the only the input variable but not output variable. One data set having the input as well as the output information. Okay. For example, suppose I have the different behavior of the person. How the person is, how what is the age, what are the his technique. Basis of that, we recorded this person is like that. Or suppose, I am talking about a different scenario, that attribute is available, and basis of that it is recorded that this particular scenario, this particular crime was committed. Okay, so you have the information, that is the kind of attribute you are attributed in attribute, some attribute which say the different kind of scenario, and crime was committed or not, that is the your outcome. So that is the your final or output result. So you may require one kind of data set that attribute as well as the outcome both are the available, and it may be in the small, but you have another set of data set have only the attribute, but you don't have the outcome, whether crime was committed or not. Okay. So supervised learning method provide a facility to basis of already available existing first data set, train your model or create a uh, certain kind of the program, or learn from this existing data set and create a model. Once your model is created, then utilize those data set in second data set where only the attributes are available, outcomes are not available. So apply these data set. Now your model means you can say now computer will tell you. So this particular tuples or row will belong in which category, committed the crime or not committed. So such type of the thing or such type of the learning is called the supervised learning. So supervised learning first is a classification task, then first second we required a building a classifier, third is the now evaluating a classifier. After this, following these three steps, uh, we apply this model for the unknown data set to predict the goal. Just here one example for classifying a mushroom. So suppose we have one book. In this book is listed many kind of the mushroom is identified as either edible, poisonous, or unknown editability. It is available in this book. And similarly, like Aries plant flower have different people. Basis of the people, you can define like Aries senatus or any versicolor or Aries virginica. So these are the known fact. Okay, and but now we have the one mushroom scum or one Aries plant come, which are not available, but other informations are available. So on basis of that, how do you classify? So we can such type of the task we can utilize the classification task. A set of the classes, instance example of each classes, generate a model or method that when given a new instance, it will determine its class. So, just here one example is that you have different kind of mushroom. Each mushroom have different features. Features first we require to store all the feature on different columns, and basis of different columns value that particular mushroom is classified eatable or poison or unknown like that. So task is that some features or attribute with values come, but we don't know whether it is editable or poisonous. So your model will help you to identify that particular mushroom is editable or poisonous or unknown. So how we perform basically thing. So first is your set of class. Second is the instance of each classes. So you require to two things set of class, just like in mushroom case you have the three class only. First is a poison editable, second is a poisonous, and third is a unknown editable. So these are the three class. Instance of each class, the different property of the mushroom plant is the instance of each classes. So what generate a method when given new instance, it will be determine its class. So for example, like they are the probabilistic feature, like say Bell, uh, clonical, convex, flat. So these are the different what say parameter, or you can the instance which are available along with your mushroom. So you can describe this. And now class is a poisonous. We reply p cap shape, convex x, cap surface is smooth, s cap color brown. So these are the describing the instances. So now, similarly in the Aries portal and Aries data set, we have the sepal length in centimeter, sepal width in centimeter, petal length in centimeter, petal width in centimeter. Basis of these four attribute, any one row can be classified. These three Aries and Setos or Aries versicolor or Aries virginica. So first one to three are the different attribute or different features of a one Aries plant, and last fifth column is the uh, class, or you can say the outcome. Basis of first four, we can classify or these attributes are classified on three classes like this. So now how the classification task start? Given a set of label instance and then generate a method, or you can say the modular model, that when given new instance it will be hypothesis its class. And then for example, when we go for the decision tree, sepal is less than or less than 0.45, yes and no, Then we classify in two category. We check width. Width is greater than or equal to 2.8. It will classify as a setos, otherwise versicolor. Similarly, if sepal length is greater than, then we check sepal length is less than this, then width is this, then classify setos, otherwise virgini. So these are the one decision making or decision tree. So decision tree is a one of the one classification or simple classification method that can be used here. So here first we get the instance, we create a model. Here when we talk about in term of decision tree, we created a decision tree. Decision tree is also a model, and then we take the new instance, and then only we require to navigate this decision tree, and basis of this navigation of decision tree we will able to classify new instance with new class, with class, appropriate class. So that is the basically it is called the learning process in the classification. Learning process, first training your instance using the training data set. Training data set is called those data, those already class you know, and then create a model, evaluate this model. Once your model is evaluated, you create a classifier, and then in this classifier you apply the new instance means attribute where you don't know the class. This is called your test instance, and then your classifier will able to predict the new class. So when you are using the classification task, classes must be disjoint, like each classes, each instances belong to only one classes. Classification tasks are binary if there are only two classes. Suppose you are predicting yes or no means two classes, so it will call binary. But in real life, mostly the classifications are more than one classes. The classification method will really be perfect. It will make mistake in its classification of new instance. So when we talk about the classification, so there are different classifications, or you can say different models are available, like logistic regression, Naive Bayes classification, support vector machine, decision tree, random forest, kernel method, genetic algorithm, and neural networks. So now, what is the role of the data analyst, or what is the role of the data scientist here? We know these are the algorithms, these are the, you can say, techniques available in machine learning for the supervised learning purpose. Okay, so what is the role of the decision, what is the role of the data scientist? Here the role of the data scientist is identify most suitable, or suitable when I talk about in term of the programming, its suitability is not in term of the programming. So okay, this program, writing the program of this particular method is very easy, so I develop this algorithm. Not it. Suitability or appropriate method or algorithm is measured in term of the accuracy. So as a data scientist, you require to identify this is the my data, and these are the these are the machine learning mm, supervised technique, and which technique will be more accurate for predicting a particular class, or which method will be more more it will generate the result more precisely and accurately. So one data scientist identify those things and apply those particular algorithm or technique on that particular data. So you just you see this graph. Here you can see the decision tree classify like this shape. Regression, basically regression, logistic regression, classify your data in one single line. And as SVM or Gaussian in support vector machine, basically we if you we use Gaussian kernel, so it give the result in form of the eclipse. And when we give the neural network, so this is basically the perceptron neural network, again similar like the logistic regression, but when we use back propagation, then it's give the more mm, like a SVM. And suppose we use the random forest, so if filter arbitrary shape of the data. And again decision trees, if you have the three class, so it will be part your data in this way. Multinomial logistical regression, it can use, again it be used in the straight line but like that way. And Gaussian again use the in spherical shape. So you can see here each result here in this particular graph. You can see uh, different method classifying the different data. And you can observe here, in some cases where is the joining point means, you can see here blue and red. So not all algorithm classify correctly, means blue can classify as a red and red can also classify as a white in the boundary line. Or you can say where there is a no exact bifurcation methods are available, then it may be possibility to classify one class to another class. So therefore it is very much important to know or to identify the accuracy how the data are classified. So these are the decision tree. Same Gaussian is here, so you can use this data set. So what modular are what we choose basically. So data scientists try different modular with different. So what is the how we choose this thing? So here basically data scientists try different modular or you can say method with different parameter and check the accuracy to figure out which one work best for the data at hand. So it is always important before applying before applying means for final decision, you experiment or data scientist experiment all the methods or different model with different parameter and verify to check which algorithms or which models are giving the more accuracy or accurately. So how we evaluate basically the accuracy? Classification accuracy is calculated through total test instance correctly classified divided by total number of test instance. In simple terms, suppose you have the 100 row and 100 all the row are classified in different class, and after running your algorithm you find 85% rows are classified similarly as their class, but 15 are not classified as recording their class. So you can say 80 your accuracy of your algorithm is of 85%. So similarly, you require to calculate the percentage of all the algorithm to check the appropriate or to check the acceptability of your uh, algorithm. So there is the different evaluating classifier. N float class validation is there. Divide into n subset fold of equal size, and they run classifier in n time. Normally we use the 10 fold. Means we divide our testing data in different 10 equal size, then we run our classifier and then check the accuracy, and we take the average of accuracy. So it is called the 10-fold, or n-fold means you can use 15, 20 like that, but mostly we use the 10-fold class validation. So evaluating classifier, we can also use the confusion matrix. We create a confusion matrix like this format. It is like your actual positive, actual negative, classified positive, and classified negative. This is the a number. If your number is a positive, positive, it means if your number is a suppose y and it is classified as a y, so it is called true positive. But your actual number is the yes, but it is classified as a no, so it is called the false negative. Similarly, if your number is the no and also classify as a positive, so it is called false positive. If your number is the no and classify as a no, so it is called the true negative. So in the same way, you can calculate the, uh, you can create a confusion matrix. So in through the confusion matrix, we know how much data or which data was classified correctly and how much data was classified incorrectly. So here it is represent true positive. We can use TP. False negative is Fn. False positive is Fp, and true negative is the Tn. Based up, then we can calculate the precision, TP divided by TP plus Fp. Similarly, recall, we can calculate recall equal to TP plus Fp plus Fn, means false negative. So precision and recall is also used to calculate the your accuracy, means you can say the perfectness of your classifier. Apart from that, there is also some other metrics that like area under the curve, receive operating characteristic or ROC curve, or F1 square also we can use. These are the also some metrics to calculate the accuracy. And then now we talk about the pattern learning and clustering or supervised unsupervised learning. So network pattern, there is a different central or length of ties and subgroups. So there are different kind of the patterns are available. And here is the some spatial pattern. So these are the temporal pattern. Temporal pattern means if pattern is changed depending upon the time. This is the our text string. Text string where is also certain kind of patterns are available after a certain frequency, particular character or text repeated. So it is that can be used for the pattern range. Concept drift, over time the data source change. The concept that were learned in past have now also changed. So pattern detection or pattern learning. So pattern detection, we use the data set and set up the pattern. Output is the match of pattern to the data. That is the your detection, pattern detection. Pattern learning is the data annotated with set up the pattern. Output is a set of pattern that appear the data with some frequency. So pattern detection, it means suppose you can say the suppose I have the one text, I am searching Ahmedabad, so it is the pattern detection. And whole suppose in word I type the one letter and I want to search some word, for example Ahmedabad or Raksha Shakti University. So I have the data that is your letter. Theta pattern means I have typed Raksha Shakti University. So output will be the all the match pattern will be highlighted. But when we say the pattern learning is you have the data set and output will be the all the pattern, all the frequency which come together that can be identified like that. So it is called the pattern learning. For example, suppose you have the one portal, okay, and basis of the portal, you have the log, and also you in your one portal you have the users log, means one user is come in how many times they access your portal and which particular where they click, such kind of the log is available, okay. So now my goal is that now I want to know when any user come my portal or my website, and which particular item or which particular uh, apart from home page or any particular pages are more accessible, okay. So here also you can use the pattern learning here. So what so, so here basically you require kind of temporal where you require to maintain um, landing page as well as the how much time he or she user spend on your portal, and similarly you can drive the pattern. So based upon that you will be able to know after how many click he or she reach on particular portal and how many time he spent. So see, such time of the knowledge discovery is called the pattern learning. In pattern learning, basically we use the data annotated with set of pattern. Output will be the pattern that appear in the data with some frequency. And here frequency is also important. Some frequency means frequency is basically defined by the users. Sometimes suppose one pattern is available only one, so you can't say it is the knowledge or it is the what's the important, because suppose you have the 1 million data set and one pattern come one time, so it may be by chance, okay. So it is not important. So importance is that if you have the 1 million data set and certain amount or certain pattern is available on in particular certain or 5% or 20% data is available on some specific similar pattern, then it will be available, uh, that it will be called the that will be called the interest of the pattern. So therefore frequency is also important. Here frequency it means the count, how many that pattern appear on your database, that is I call basically the frequency. And frequency discovery, data set a pattern that appear in data with some frequency. Next is your clustering. Clustering also we say it is a unsupervised learning. Clustering is basically used to find pattern based on the feature of the instances. Given a set of instances, data point with feature value means your feature vector, and number of cluster means how many division you want to perform on your data. So that is called number of cluster. So basically, based upon that finding is the best assignment of instance or assignment, or you can say the group of the item. Base satisfies the some optimization criteria. Cluster represent similar instances. Or in second time, we can say we have the different data, but one cluster. When I say the one cluster, that represents similar kind of similar instance in one group. In simple words, suppose you have the data set in class, just group it in two cluster. So suppose you are using, and by default, suppose you have the only one thing, one attribute. So uh, for example, gender is a one attribute. So you will group in the on immediately in two group, girls and boys. So it is the two grouping. So if you have the only the one attribute, so grouping is a very easy. But in real life, in our data is not available in only the one attribute, but we have the multiple attribute. Basis of multiple attribute, we require to group the data. So therefore, we require the clustering algorithm. So main purpose of the clustering is that, or supervised learning is that they utilize those attribute or multiple attribute, calculate some kind of matrix, or in simple term we say the distance matrix, and assign those data or group those data. Those are the nearby location, or those are the most nearby the location. So in end of the super unsupervised learning, we will get the different group of the data, which are which have the inter similarity but intra dissimilarity. Means they will be, suppose cluster 1, all the data of cluster 1 will be the similar, but it will be dissimilar with cluster 2. So most there are different kind of the clustering algorithm or supervised algorithms are available in your machine learning, depend upon your depend upon your data. But most popular algorithm is the K-mean clustering. K-mean clustering we use where your data is in numeric. But if your data is the categorical, so K-mean clustering is not appropriate, or it is not applicable. So we go for the K-mode clustering. And also K-mean clustering algorithm is the based upon the local optimum. So if you want to form your data on the global optimum, then we go the variation of the K-mean clustering. It is the genetic K-mean clustering. So there is a different version of K-mean clustering depend upon our applications. So here K-mean clustering algorithm, K is represent number of cluster. Place. So what is the basically how it work? We provide two things to our system. First is your data set. Second is your how many cluster or how many number of cluster you want to perform. Then how the your program will start? Suppose I have given data set and number of cluster 2, or in this example you can see 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4, sorry 4. So we want to classify our data in 4. So we will provide the k value equal to 4. So how do your algorithm or or model start? Initially we don't know how the data will divide. Okay, so randomly we choose the center of the data. Randomly we assign some center point to all the data. Uh, and then now we start calculating the distance from your center point, randomly selected random point to all the data. Suppose center point is a C1, so we will calculate the distance from C1 to all the data. Then similarly we will calculate the distance from C2 to the all the data. Then we calculate the distance from C3 to all the data, and we calculate the distance from C4 to all the data. Okay, then now you have the distance matrix now available here. Then suppose you have the data D1. So D1 have the distance from C1 as well as C2 as well as C3 as well as C4. So now see, D1 is the nearest to 1 in which center? C1 or C2 or C3 or C4. Suppose D1 is the nearest to C4, so assign D1 as a cluster cluster 4, because D1 is the nearest to center point 4, means cluster 4. Similarly, you may require to check with all the data set, and your data is whichever the data point or data is the near to your center, you will assign that cluster number. But now it is the not a final. And then now initially we started from the random random center. Random center means just your data assigned randomly. Now this process we can now continue. Now we have our data is divided in four different parts temporarily, and then now we compute the center. We compute the centroid, or you can say the mean. And now we not assign randomly, but now we compute the center, and then now we will get the another center point. So you replace the existing random center point with the new center point. After replacing your center point, your center point, again calculate the distance in distance from the all the data with other all the data and with all the center point. Then again you will find some data will be moved from one cluster to another cluster. Then again you calculate the center. So we process same way, repetitive manner, till they are shifting from one partition or one cluster to another cluster is not stopped, or we perform same work till your data shifting from one cluster to another cluster is not stopped. So for example, like we selected here, randomly we selected two clusters. You can see here, sorry, four random number, and then we required to calculate. After the calculation, your center point will be moving, and like that, and ultimate your center point will be like that. So this is the K-mean clustering is basically the widely used cluster algorithm, and apart from that we have the hierarchical cluster, density based cluster, and so on. So another machine learning technique or statistic technique we can use in our data science, that is the correlation also we can use. Correlation and predictive, when we use the correlation, then we require a predictive variable. They are correlated with other target dependent variable like smoking. For example, smoking resultant is your respiratory disease, then also the cough. So how you can define, basically cause and effect. Smoking is the cause, then due to the smoking respiratory disease, then you get the cough. So cough is the effect. So V1 variable V1 is the cause of variable V2, and V3 is the in effect of variable V2. So latent variable can be also smoking, DNA damage, carbon monoxide, then respiratory disease, then cough. So these are the basically the correlation versus causation. So similarly, you can use the probability graph model. So probability graph model, we can use the Bayesian networks, and Bayesian interface can be also used here. Okay. Now, so there are different method. Or when you say talk about machine learning, so we have the basically we can classify group basically machine learning algorithm in supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and then pattern discovery. These are the most popular machine learning algorithm that can be applied for the or that can apply in the machine learning. And this algorithm in each technique you will find multiple methods or multiple algorithms, so that can be used in our data set. But always remember, all the data, all the all the techniques are only depend upon your data type or nature of the data. all the data or all the algorithm cannot be used for the universally for all data sets. So now, as I told you, is a two type of the users in data science. First, those want to develop new algorithms, or they want to use new algorithm, and so they require the programming. Second kind of user or second type of the data scientist users are, you have the data, don't require the program. Now in this day, different data science tools are available. Different data science tools are available. They offer mm, machine learning technique to apply for the data science. So most used data science um, software या package are like SAS, Apache Spark, BigML, D3JS, MATLAB, Excel, ggplot, Tableau, Jupyter, Matplotlib, LTK, and Scikit-learn, TensorFlow, and Weka. These are the most used data science tool. SAS, Apache Spark, BigML. These are the commercial software you may require to procure. Similarly, MATLAB is also commercial software. Now in this day, in you those are aware about MATLAB. MATLAB have the different toolbox like neural network toolbox, image processing toolbox, genetic toolbox. Similarly, now in this day, from data science or data analysis toolboxes are so available. So you can utilize the MATLAB. Excel is not provide much, but simple some methods are also available in Excel. ggplot and Tableau, basically this software are especially designed for the visualization or representation of your data in appropriate manner. So this two software can be used if you are more interested on in term of the visualization or represent your data. Tableau, apart from the visualization, they also provide some data analysis facility, and Tableau can connect with different data source like MySQL and other. And the through the some like programming with PHP or what say uh, PH, not PH. Basically, they also provide writing the some script in Python that can be incorporated with Tableau. So you can, but for the it is a commercial software. It's come on the license wise. So you may require to procure, and now in this day it is a subscription based. So you can subscribe yearly basis or monthly basis. So these are the different softwares that can be used for the data science. What is also mostly used in data science, that is a Weka. And Weka is basically popular in term of, if you are don't want to purchase, you don't have the fund. Mostly in research purpose, we don't have the much fund to procure such kind of the software. If you are working in the any what say business house or corporate, so we can procure, but mostly we use data science tool for our research purpose, so we don't have much fund to procure. So there is alternate method is a open source. So Weka is the one open source and freely available software which offered the um, not all, but most widely used data mining and machine learning uh, algorithm inside of Weka, or you can use the mostly used machine learning algorithm through the Weka. So just I give the brief information about the Weka, because others are the commercial. So Weka is the available in the free Appcast, so easily you can download and utilize it. Weka is basically the abbreviation for Wakato Environment for Knowledge Analysis. It is a short form of this. It is the data mining machine learning tool developed by Department of Computer Science, University of Waikato, New Zealand, and Weka is also bird found in the island of New Zealand. So based upon this particular bird, this name was given. As I told you, it is a freely available. It is available in different platforms: Windows, Macintosh, uh, Mac OS, Linux, and current version is a 3.9 available. It is a freely available, so you can download from um, according to your platform. So main feature is a more than data pre-processing tools are available. 76 classification and regression algorithm are available at clustering algorithm. The three algorithm for finding association rule, 15 attribute subset evaluator, and support to include another benefit of the another some algorithms are already developed by the Weka team and it is the available. Apart from that, now in these days, some different community like Weka community also develop algorithms. Those are the not a part of the basic Weka, but developed by the different university. That algorithm can be also imported on Weka and you can use additionally, or you can use as a resource purpose. For example, suppose I want to work in temporal data. Temporal is facility is not available in main main Weka. So, but there are different external algorithms are available which provide facility for the dealing with time series data. So we can include those algorithm, download that algorithm again in freely, and we can incorporate with Weka. So after installing, there is a it is a graphical user interface, and three user interface are available: Explorer, Experimenter, and Knowledge Flow. And last one is a simple CLI. CLI is a command line interface. Suppose you don't want to work in GUI basis, you want to work basis of the command line, so you can use the CLI. They rest like Explorer, Experimenter, and Knowledge Flow. Knowledge Flow gives simple knowledge. Experimenter is basically used to compare two different algorithms. And for data analysis, we can use the Explorer. Working window in Weka. So just open the click on the um, Explorer. The new window will become. Here is the different tabs are available. Different tabs provide the different data mining or machine learning methods. And first is the pre-process where you require to open the file. Open the file. You can import. ARF file, CSV file, C4.5 binary. Apart from that, you can also use you can also connect if your data is available in database. So you Weka also provide the database connectivity, so directly you can connect your database. So suppose your data is available in file format, so you can use open file. If it is available in the database, though, then you can choose the OpenDB means database. And suppose your data is available in particular URL, then you can use the open URL. And here also generate some if you want to generate some once synthetic data, so you can generate also. So these are the basically front screen. uh, Weka, when you talk about the Weka file format, that is the ARF attribute relation file format. That file is look like this way. You can also create in Notepad or WordPad simply after saving as. And you can also convert any Excel file, CAV file, or text file within ARA format through the Veka is also provide the tool like ARA Viewer tool. Here you can create ARA Viewer, open your file, and then save as. And also some online tools are available which convert your CSV or text file or Excel file in ARA format. Like here is the one ikuz.eu CSV to ARF converter. So when you open your ARF file, so it will look like this, similar like Excel in tabular form. So now working with like Explorer, click the Explorer, then click on the open file, then select your open file which you want to open. So file will be open. Click here, select your file, then click open. File will be open here. In left side, it will be show the different attribute, and right side, whatever attribute you will select, it give the basic property. Basic properties mean if it is the nominal, so it will be give the how many classes are there. If it is the numeric data, so it will give the mean, max, average, standard deviation, and so on. Such kind of basic statistics will be displayed on right side along with the graph. So suppose you want to select the work on the particular um, pattern discovery. So just you go for the Veka Explorer, select the file, then come on the associate tab, and then by default it will give the a priori, and then you can select choose here. You can choose any other method. When you click here, then also you can set the property of the a priori algorithm, and then just click on the start button. When you click the start button, it will be display the result as well as the different find the pattern. Like best example based upon this, like voter data. So these are the those are like voter data. You can say adoption of budget, yes, physician free, no, add to Nicaraguan contrast, why. So they voted for Democrat. His confidence is the one, means 100% confidence. Like crime pattern is this you can use here. Similarly, now classification. I told you classification, so you can use the classification two-step process. Just so these are the basic. Suppose these are the our data set. So just go for here, and then Veka you choose the classification, use the Navi bias, then click on again the OK. Here, as I told you, either you can perform cross validation fold. So by default is 10, you can use the 10, 20, 15 or anything else. Okay. And then provide here, then click OK. It will be give the classification apart from like summary will be display here. It means accuracy, like correctly classify, incorrectly classify. Apart from that, there is other like mean absolute, root absolute, and also in last it will give the confusion matrix. So same way you can choose. There are different classifier method. When you click like function, you will find the neural network. Lazy means neuro, like nearest neighborhood. When you go by rule based like decision tree and other. So there are several classification methods are available. As I told you, first take your data, then choose different algorithm and apply that, and then measure the accuracy. And then you will be able to see which algorithm, which data it is available. Similarly, suppose like you want to perform the SVM tool, so you can use the SVM tool like classify, meta, multi classifier. So in basically in Weka, when you go, so there is a multi-class classifier. You can choose there multi-class SVM function. Then SM self SMO is also there. RBA radial basis function network is also there. Multi-layer perceptron is also there. So these are the different functions or machine learning methods which are available. So just one experiment is here. So study we investigated like neural network, suppose. So these are the data set. Like I suppose I want to classify basis of the neural network. So we use this neural network. We design here and method. These are the different attribute, and then these are the plot we can use here. Similarly, you can use the clustering method also. So again for clustering also you require to go for again open file selection. After file selection you will you will find different attribute, but if you don't want to all the attribute parties will participate for clustering, then you can choose specific attribute. Okay, for example in this case I have chosen age, stature, weight and body fat. So I can choose only those things. After that, you come here in cluster a tab, then choose here simple k-mean, then right double click here, then you can specify the number of cluster. For example, we are classify the number of cluster is a 5. So based of that your number cluster it will be divided in the different different group based upon the percent of body fat, weight, stature, and age. And similarly, this is the for female, and you can visualize also this cluster through visualization tool, also available in Weka. So another example is that also we use that result and analysis, and it is also available in the knowledge preprocessor. Then knowledge visualization. When you go the visualization, you can visualize each attribute in different way. So if you want to increase the size, you can click on the plot size, and different data will be visualized available. And similarly, like AI in this way, select instance, submit. So, so these are the different techniques. Our machine learning techniques are available on your Weka software. So you can use the Weka. You can use the Weka software. It is a freely available to apply your machine learning technique. Okay. Uh, Doctor, hello. Do you, anybody have any question? Hello. Dr. Jugal,
Yes, sir.
anybody have any question? You may ask to questions.
Yeah. So if any participant wants to ask any question, so please, otherwise we can resume our session tomorrow. Is there anyone? I think, sir, nobody is there for having questions. Sir.
Can I ask a small question, sir?
Yes, sir, please.
This may be slightly different from the technical parts, but more of how we control data. We have a major chunk of data. We have a lot of data. Say, if we look at the aviation sector, also if you look at the communication sectors also, even in the social media also, Facebook, Twitter. So whatever data uh, we are generated from here or from India. So how do we? Who is responsible to control this data, sir? We have a data repository system, or what is the role of these data security councils like we have in India? So how are these data managed? Where they are stored? They are stored locally, or they are stored in foreign countries, nations. So can you please throw some light, on that part, if you don't mind,
Okay.
since it is little different from this.
One, I am coming in your question, and first that I one question received through chat box. Regression, how it is differ from the classification. Basically, regression and classification is a come as a unsupervised learning. The difference between regression and classification is that in classification we predict the class, or you can say that we predict the categorical value. For example, yes and no. Do you want he will buy, yes or no? So these are the categorical, I means nominal variable. So basis of the attribute, if we use to predict a nominal variable or a nominal value, it may be high, low, medium, or any kind of the nominal means categorical value. So that is the classification. But when we when we used to predict any numerical means quantity value, okay, then apply the regression. For example, I have the temperature data for all uh, this month. For July I have the temperature data, but some date data are missing. So basis of the available of other day, I want to identify or predict the value of the missing temperature. So temperature will be what? Temperature will be a numeric value. So in such type of the scenario, we apply the regression. So regression used to predict a quantity value, exact value. For example, similarly, for example, I have the data of number of year experience based upon the salary. Now one person come, so first basis of this data, I create a regression model, and then one person is come. I have only the know the number of year experience. I don't know the salary. So I will put the number of year experience on that particular model, and model will be give how much salary for him. So salary is again what? Salary is a one numeric value, quantity value. So when we require to predict any quantity value, so that is there we apply the regression. So the basic difference between regression and classification is only that regression is used to predict a quantity value means numeric value, apart from classification is used to predict a predict a categorical value means those represent a group, not particular specific value. Yes is a not a specific value, that is representing a group which say yes, not a quantity like temperature is a 32 centigrade. It is not saying like that. So these are the difference between regression and classification. Now, when we say about the data, basically those maintain or those store the data, those are the owner. For example, you are talking about social media. So Facebook is the owner of the Facebook. So data will be maintained in and under the Facebook. Twitter data maintained by the Twitter only. So those are the owner of the data. Those created some portal. They manage the data. Presently, there is no guideline that all the data will be available in one place. Suppose if you are conducting some survey or some study, so you will generate the data, so you will be able to manage those data. Only we have the policy who will be store the data and other thing. Any data we are collecting through the government. For example, like Aadhaar, we are collecting the personal informations and other information through the Aadhaar. So there is a one authority who is the authorized to manage and everything like UDI, those manage the data. And similarly, there is different body who collect the data. They are responsible to store and manage the data. But all the, as per the government rule, only is that whoever taking the data, so data privacy and privacy is a follow is the compulsory. That is the guideline. But there is a no restriction. So this person is gathering the data, they can not store the data. There is no such guideline. And anything again about you are talking about, if you are in testing for a specific purpose, so I can again explain, like crimes related data they maintained by the ministry home ministry only. So there is a no specific one source where all data will be available. And recently, in term of the government of India, last 2 3 years they make the one data portal, data.gov.in. All the ministry put the data on that portal, so that portal is that portal provide the basically kind of aggregated data from different ministry. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm listening, sir.
Huh.
And there is, I think, also an agency which is known as NetGrid, National Intelligence, which you may also be aware of since we are talking about national security and security issues.
Hello, your voice is breaking. What agency you told?
NetGrid, sir.
It
NetGrid.
is net.
NetGrid. NetGrid.
No, it is not
National
a
Intelligence. National Intelligence Grid.
no, it is not a government agency or approved.
Yeah, but it has been, I think, it has been authorized to access all the datas of most of the sectors, like the transportation sectors and the sector for
So the
defense.
what I'm saying, it is a it. I don't think it's authorized by the government. But like as I told you, different owners, like we are using Gmail. Gmail has their also server. They are gathering other data. Okay, but whom to he share? They do. They not inform to user like we are sharing your information, because they take the sign our signature our agreement that we can share, we can read your email like that way. Okay, so now everybody is collecting the data, they are free to use where they want. As per when you talk about as per the law, so law only say you can't you compromise the privacy of the user, but there are different way to share the data without losing the privacy of particular users. So mostly most of the company do like that way. Therefore we receive the different call and other thing marketing, how they get our mobile number and other information through the different portal only.
So, what is the name of the portal that you have mentioned, sir? About
For government data, that is the data.gov.in.
okay, 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 sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, is there anyone else? I think, sir, people have asked all the questions. And thank you so much, sir, for your session and elaborating the answer, what questions they were asked.
Thank you, Dr. Jugal. Okay.